The afternoon sun cast a golden glow over Los Angeles as Selena Gomez stepped out of her black SUV. She had visited many community centers before, but today felt different. She walked into the modest Immigrant Resource Center, where walls were adorned with colorful murals painted by children. The space was small but filled with warmth, stacks of donated books, a corner with toys, and volunteers offering quiet support. As she moved down the hallway, a faint scratching sound caught her attention. She followed it to a small room where a young boy sat at a wooden table, sketching intently in a worn notebook. Before we continue this story, let us know where you're watching from. If you enjoy stories like this, subscribe to the channel, because tomorrow we have another special story for you. Selena hesitated for a moment before stepping closer. "Hey there," she said gently. "What are you drawing?" The boy looked up, startled. His big brown eyes studied her cautiously as he instinctively pulled the notebook closer. "I didn't mean to interrupt," Selena added with a smile. "It just looked really interesting." The boy hesitated, then slowly pushed the notebook forward. Selena crouched down and examined the drawing, a small house nestled between towering mountains, the sun shining above. The details were precise, filled with emotion. "This is beautiful," she murmured. "Is this your home?" The boy nodded slowly. It was. Selena's heart clenched at that one word, "was." She looked at him closely. His clothes were clean, but slightly worn, his sneakers scuffed at the edges. He couldn't have been older than 10, yet his expression held a quiet maturity beyond his years. "What's your name?" she asked softly. The boy hesitated, then whispered, "Mateo." Selena smiled. "That's a beautiful name, Mateo." She could tell he had a story, one he wasn't sure if he should share. As she sat across from Mateo, she knew this conversation was about to become something much more than just a passing moment. Selena sat down across from Mateo, resting her elbows on the table, careful not to make him feel pressured. The boy kept his notebook close, his fingers gripping the edges as if it were his most prized possession. "This house," Selena said, gently, pointing at the drawing. "Where is it?" Mateo's eyes flickered with hesitation before he spoke. "Guatemala." Selena nodded. "It looks like a beautiful place." Mateo swallowed hard. It was, that word again. Was. Selena stayed quiet, letting him decide if he wanted to continue. After a long pause, he shifted uncomfortably in his chair. "My abuela lived there," he finally said. "She used to sit on the porch and tell me stories. She said one day, I'd build my own house next to hers." Selena smiled softly. "That sounds like a wonderful dream." Mateo exhaled sharply. "But we had to leave. My mama and papa said we'd be safe here. But then, they were taken." Selena's heart sank. "Taken?" Mateo lowered his head. "Immigration. They came one morning, said my parents didn't have the right papers." He bit his lip, trying to hold back tears. "I was at school. When I got home, they were gone." A lump formed in Selena's throat. "Mateo, who's taking care of you now?" Mateo shrugged. "No one, really. The people here try to help, but they say I need family to stay." His voice grew quieter. "I don't have family here." Selena took a deep breath. She had read about cases like this, children left behind after their parents were deported, forced into legal limbo. But hearing it from Mateo, seeing the weight of it on his small shoulders, made it feel different. She reached out gently, not touching him, but offering a connection. "Mateo, I don't know what's going to happen next, but I promise, You're not alone. For the first time, Mateo lifted his gaze fully, searching her face for truth. As silence filled the room, Selena knew she couldn't just walk away. She had to do something. Selena sat quietly, letting Mateo's words settle. He was just a child, but his story carried a weight far beyond his years. "Do you know where your parents are now?" she asked. Mateo shook his head. "They said they'd call when they got to Guatemala, but it's been months." His voice was small, uncertain. "I don't even know if they're okay." Selena's stomach turned. A 10-year-old alone, with no family and no way to reach them. She clenched her jaw, fighting the urge to let frustration take over. "Has anyone tried to help you find them?" "The people here, they tried. But they say without papers, I can't stay. And if they don't find someone to take care of me..." His voice trailed off, but the fear was clear. Selena took a deep breath. This wasn't just sad, it was wrong. She leaned forward. "Mateo, you shouldn't have to go through this alone. There has to be a way to help you." His dark eyes searched hers. "But how?" Selena didn't know the full answer yet, but she had resources. She had a voice, and she wasn't about to walk away. "We're going to figure it out," she promised. "I'm going to talk to the people here. We'll find a way." For the first time, Mateo looked at her with something she hadn't seen before. Hope. Selena stood up, her mind already racing with possibilities. She had made a promise, and she intended to keep it. Selena walked briskly through the center's narrow hallway, her mind racing. She had promised Mateo she would help, but what could she actually do? She wasn't a lawyer, she wasn't a government official, but she was Selena Gomez. And that had to count for something. She found the center's director, a kind-looking woman in her 50s named Linda, sitting at a desk cluttered with case files. "Linda, I just spoke to Mateo," Selena said, urgency in her voice. "He has no legal guardian here. His parents were deported. What's being done for him?" Linda sighed, rubbing her temples. "We've tried everything. Without family here, his options are limited. If he doesn't get proper legal representation, soon he could be sent back." Selena's stomach dropped. "Sent back? Alone?" "There has to be a way," she pressed. Linda hesitated. "There is, but it's complicated. He could qualify for special immigrant juvenile status, but we need a lawyer willing to take his case pro bono." Selena didn't hesitate. "I'll find one." Linda blinked. "It's not that simple, Selena. These cases take time. And money. I have both." The room fell silent for a moment. Then Linda nodded. "All right. If you're serious, I'll connect you with an immigration attorney." Selena took a deep breath. This was just the beginning. Days passed, and Selena stayed true to her promise. She connected with top immigration lawyers, covering all legal fees. Mateo's case moved forward faster than anyone expected. One afternoon, Selena sat with Mateo at the center. "I have good news," she said, smiling. "We found a lawyer, and you qualify for protection." Mateo's eyes widened. "Really?" She nodded. "You won't have to leave. You're safe now." For the first time, Mateo let out a deep breath, one he had probably been holding for months. He was finally free from the fear of being alone. Selena smiled as Mateo picked up his pencil, this time sketching something new. A future he could finally believe in. Let me ask you, have you ever helped someone in a life-changing way? Share your story in the comments. And if this inspired you, don't forget to subscribe, because tomorrow we have another powerful story waiting for you.